Hi everybody, welcome to Sailing Chandlery. Welcome also to our third video in the series of our rope splicing videos. So in this video we're going to show you how to create a continuous control line. In the previous two videos we showed you how to create an eye and also a locking eye in a 12-strand Dyneema rope, and also how to taper down a rope from the cover to the Dyneema core as well. So as I said, in this video we're going to show you continuous control lines. In front of me I've got a few of the tools we're going to use. So we've got Splicer Scissors, nice sharp laser edged scissors, so really sharp, really good for cutting through the Technora we've got here in this rope. Splicer Tool, so we've talked about that before. A tape measure, a 5.5 and 4mm Selma fid, and also a couple of Sharpies, and also a different colour as well. Sometimes it's good to have a different colour because the black, if we mark this up, is going to be hard to show. So in front of me we've got a continuous control line rope. This is Kingfisher Evolution Breeze. There's lots of popular options in terms of continuous control lines. Marlowe XL Control is also another popular option, which we sell probably just as much of the Breeze as we do the XL Control, but they're available in 4mm and 5mm. So first of all, the advantage of using continuous control line is that you'll never get to the end of the rope. So you imagine I'm going to use my Tornado catamaran as an example. We use this on our jib sheets. This exact rope, in fact, 5mm. Basically, as we come into the windward mark, you're always going to want to let the jib off a little bit as you bear away. So you let it off and keep going, do 3 or 4 laps. Every time you're basically letting off more jib sheet, more jib sheet. If you've got a knot in one end, that's going to get to the cleat and not be able to go any further. Whereas if you've got a continuous control line, it will just run around the whole system. So it's a self-tacking jib. The rope goes round, tightens up the jib, but also goes back under the trampoline as well, and is one big loop. So basically all day long we can turn left around the top mark, dump jib sheet, and just keep going and going and going, and you're never going to get to the end of the rope. You're never going to get to a situation where you need to reset and maybe feed it around the other side. So if you can, we really recommend continuous control lines, and these the Evolution Breeze and Marlowe XL Control are perfect ropes because the strength of the rope is actually within the cover. The core isn't any load-bearing surface. Okay, so first thing you want to do, this rope is Technora, so we won't be using a hot knife on this at all because the fumes are not good, and also with it being Technora, it's really good with extreme heat and kind of friction on the rope. So the hot knife doesn't go through this very well. But what we would do if the rope is sealed or the core and the cover are not apart like they are here, is we just take the scissors to them, just trim them up so they're like this, and basically we can get the core away from the cover. So first thing we're going to make quite a small continuous control line loop here, but obviously it's just for this demo. So essentially what we want to do is measure about 40 centimetres to start with. And what we want to do, so we've got 40 centimetres here, is pull the core from the cover. And we want to get about 40 centimetres of that out. So first of all, pull it all the way out. Just have to bunch up the cover a little bit. We've got 40 centimetres there. So just making sure we don't trim the cover at all. We can just do a little slice here and get that off. And then the core can go away and be put somewhere else. And then just run the cover back down, and you'll feel the rope goes from fat to thin where the cover isn't. So we've got about this, which is our 40 centimetres. We then want to do the same on the other side as well. So just picking out the core very gently, pull it away from the cover, all the way down, about 40 centimetres. Get to there, and then slice the core out there. And again, just work the rope back down here. And again, you'll feel that bump from where it goes fat to thin, essentially. And what we're going to do is we're going to make that rope fat again, essentially, by putting this, the other end back inside here. So once we've got these, you want to do is kind of line up where you've got your fat and your fin. It's always good to just mark this as well. So as I said, with the orange Sharpie or red Sharpie, just mark where it goes from fat to thin here. So you've got a good idea there. And same here, just run your fingers down, and it's just at this point here. So what we want to allow is allow a little bit to come out at each end. So obviously our holes are kind of here. but essentially just to allow a little bit to come out, and these two thin bits here are essentially going to go in. So what I want to do is kind of get in the middle of these two now, so about there. I want to mark here. So mark in the middle, and you'll feel that this is really springy and spongy because there's no core inside those bits of the rope. So essentially what we want to do now is we want to go from this side to this side and pull this rope in here. So we're going to use our D-splicer for this. So from one point, I'll just flip this round. You might want to use your Selma fid here just to open it up. Come inside the rope, just go between the strands, just to pull it apart. And you can get your D-splicer in here. And the D-splicer will go all the way down here, and you want to go to the other kind of central exit point here, and then just work your way out. You might need to just use the fid here. I'm using my nail in this case just to break the strands apart. So now we've got that. Essentially what we want to do is put this rope inside here. So with the D-splicer, just open it up gently. There's instructions on our product page for D-splicer, and also come with it in terms of how you should bury this. If you're obviously going to put too much rope in here, it's going to be really hard to pull back through the centre here. But just a little bit, you should be able to work it. Let's just come undone. So you probably need to get a bit more in that in this example. Essentially just get enough so it bends over. It's got a good catch on it, and you can work the cover back here. This might be a bit too much. Try and work it gently back through. Work the cover up. Can be a little bit tricky to get this back inside. But if you pull gently and just work it, keep it flexible, it should start coming back through here. Just keep massaging and working it down. You essentially want to make this cover quite loose and bunched up, so the rope is essentially, there's a fatter area in the middle. If it's like that, it's not going to go through very well, but if you can kind of open it up and work it down, it will go back down here. Just going to come back out with this one actually. I think we've got a bit too much bunched up there. What you can do is just taper this down a little bit if it's too much. Sometimes makes it a little bit easier. There we go. That's coming through nice and easily now, he says. Just working that up, and then we've got that out here. So essentially you want to go to your points here, work that in there, and then down. So we've got one side in. It's probably a bit too much there, but then what we also want to do is you've also got the other thin bit here and here. So in this example we can pull this through a little bit more. You can play with this. This will bunch up here. So just have a look at your markers. Make sure you're kind of coming back together. We know there's going to be a little bit of excess here which we can cut off and work with afterwards. But essentially what we've now got to do is go from here to here to get this other bit in there as well. So essentially, as we've done before, open this up, try and make a little hole, and we're going to go down the fin end, and as there's no core in there, it comes out quite nicely. And then just work our way out of that kind of centre point here as well. So again, using my finger here, or fingernails. Again, I'm going to taper this down because you saw how much easier that was there. Just take a little bit of this fat off of the end of that. And then essentially, we can just work this back into the D-splicer again. And then just gently pull it back through again all the way until, just keep going, and then it's out here. So again, just gently work it through. You want to really pull it, and then obviously what we're trying to do is get the two together. So you'll have a little bit of a bump in the middle there, but essentially when you pull this and work it in the right way and pull your ropes, you can see that you've got a slight bump here in the middle, but that's pretty damn good, and will be a kind of continuous line. So essentially what we've done there is created one big loop which is together. It's got a slight bump in there, but you can just work that, work it both ways, make sure it's nice and smooth into one continuous control line. Now obviously the only other thing we've got to do here is just tidy these up. So what I'll do is just pull them out a little bit, only a tiny bit, and then just work the end off here. Cut that off there, and then just do one at a time so you've got it right. Pretty good. And then also this side as well. So just work it out a tiny bit, and you can cut that cover off there. The scissors go through the Technora nicely, and then just work it. Just make sure you've got no bumps in it, and essentially you've got one big continuous loop which will run around your jib sheets, or there's lots of other applications you can use that for in your boat. So quick overview, Evolution Breeze 5mm rope we're using here, available in a number of different colours. We've used our D-Splicer, D-Splicer Scissors, and in this instance the 4mm fid, tape measure, and also our red Sharpie. So if you've got any questions about the continuous control line, Splice, or any of the products we've used today, just get in touch with the team. Just to let you know as well, we do provide a rope splicing service as well. So if you're not quite sure, you haven't got the tools, you want somebody to do it for you, it's a little bit tricky with a continuous control line because we'd need to be at the boat. But if you need eye splices in braid on braid, 12 strands, Dyneema, tapers done, then please just get in touch with the team. We can provide you a quote for getting your splicing work done. So you know, provided we've got the measurements, it'll be perfect to fit directly to your boat, and you can go sailing without having to splice this yourself. If you've got any questions on anything you've seen today, just get in touch with the team. We're here and happy to help. Thanks a lot for watching.